国外看中国各地医疗队支援天津疫情。
19年有天津援鄂，22年有我们援京，天津我们来了。
Viviendo en China, me siento un chino más, para mí China es mi casa y ahora me está tocando vivir una situación social. Todo esto se hace para controlar a cada ciudadano. Yo realmente me siento muy protegido. No me voy a España y quiero quedarme en China porque me siento muy protegido por el gobierno y las autoridades chinas que están haciendo un trabajo impecable. Hay mucha gente, muchas personas que están trabajando las 24 horas del día para cuidar a todos los ciudadanos. Yo en casa he recibido varios controles de gente, de doctores, trabajadores de la policía y demás. Realmente me siento muy protegido. Cada 2 por 3 me preguntan cómo estoy, si necesito algo. Han venido a realizarme controles para comprobar mi estado de salud.
3 hours later.
I think we're quite safe.
The situation is controlled and it's okay.
In China, it's nice. Yeah, so the current situation is very good. I think the government is doing a really good job here.
I think they were much quicker to react and to do testing. It's much better here, and tracking. Much better.
I think there's no place I'd be happier right now, actually.
Yeah.
China handled it so well. I look at the rest of the world, I'm so thankful. I wouldn't have a job if I was at home.
Yeah,
so,
same.
Yeah.
Every day I'm just more thankful that I stayed in China and didn't go back home. The UK is a mess right now.
I think being able to tell, for people to listen and stay at home and follow rules, I think that's what makes the control here easier.
And the fact that everybody just banded together. So it wasn't people with an individual mindset thinking, oh, I don't want to follow the rules, I don't think it's fair.
I don't think they would listen to me.
In Germany, it's sometimes the case that the people, they discuss half a year since they started to use a mask. Wearing mask would be definitely very important in Germany, but at the moment I think they are really eager to fight against the virus, yeah, and also looking right and left and looking how, yeah, China.
3 hours later.
也可以很容易的去不同的亚洲国家，比如说韩国、泰国、越南。哇，中国的发达突飞猛进了，当今有新鲜感。我的心里每天都告诉我，这里你应该住在这样的地方。你很年轻，你可以跟中国一起继续发展，这样会成功。下一点，我现在在加拿大，因此我没有太合适的学习中文环境。在中国，好像我可以更快的学习中文，跟中国人交流。我知道有一天我会说的流利。下个原因，我觉得在钱的问题上，我可以省下钱，然后投资很多，因为中国的东西比较便宜，但这可能这也是个不太好的事情，因为中国有好多。
3 hours later.
长也短暂。
3 hours later.
Alright, so I've finally made it to China, and in this video I'm going to go ahead and share with you some of the first impressions that I've noticed and pretty much let you glimpse into the life that I'm living here in Suzhou. Let's start this video. So before we dive into it, I just want to talk a little bit about where I am. The city that I'm living in currently is called Suzhou. It's about a 2-hour drive or a 30-minute bullet train ride away from Shanghai. With over 10 million people, Suzhou is one of the most popular tourist destinations in China, but I'll save that for another video. So a few impressions that I've had so far of China, one being the people are super friendly. I feel there is a stereotype that Chinese people might be considered rude or pushy, and I haven't experienced any of that yet here in China. Everyone is very accommodating and very friendly. Also, the area I'm living in China is very modern. You pretty much will be able to find anything Western that you could want in terms of food, clothing. If not, you can definitely order it online. There is a lot of variety here. Another thing that's really awesome that I've seen.
3 hours later.
方便，太方便。就是我认为，我不确定，但是我觉得除了中国，只有韩国开设了一些。他们有 Kakao Pay， 还有支付宝，好像支付宝在韩国也能用，但是欧美国家还是到现在只用现金或者刷卡，能用手机支付方式超级方便。我这一次来中国都快1年了，然后一直没有回国，我好像有至少半年没有见过现金。我都是用手机支付的，这是第一，就是要是回国我会想的东西。第二个，来了中国觉得非常方便的一个事情，然后真的让我不想回国。要是回国了，真的会非常想的一个就是外卖。在我的国家，点外卖的话，基本上这是披萨。在韩国，披萨。
3 hours later.
You often get 2 answers. Either people are surprised, people are like, why? Why did you choose to go to China? Or people are impressed, which is a little better. And even though it's kind of nice for people to be impressed, meaning that they think you've done something well, or meaning that they think you're kind of cool, but the truth is that China is really not that scary, and it's probably much better than you think it is. Most of the time when we hear something about China in the Western media, it's about the crazy economic development, it's about the crowded factories, it's about the lack of democracy, about what else? Weird food. And I think Western media, not all of them obviously, I'm not like hating on all Western media, but many of them have a tendency to portray China in a certain way. And it's not even because
3 hours later.
2008 I came over to visit, and I think the subway was partially running, one of the lines, and in 2012 when I moved back here, I got on line 3 from the airport. Everything is developed out for 4 kilometers.
Yeah, now, I mean, Minnesota, correct me if I'm wrong, it's fairly, like, topographically speaking, it's fairly flat, isn't it? So, I mean, this must be like, I mean, even for me in Shenzhen, I mean, Shenzhen is mountains and stuff like that. I'm from Ontario, and it's pretty flat. And so I look at, like, Hong Kong and Shenzhen as kind of like a 3D city, but Chongqing is like 4D. It's like out of this world. And the nightscapes, especially, the way I look at it, I've always said before that it's like a mix between Blade Runner and Gotham City.
Yeah, it really is.
And then, and just the multi-layeredness of it.
And I like to tell people when I have friends visiting, especially on the rare occasions that I have people who have been to my hometown, we go down line 3 to go across the Jialing River, and we look out, and it comes out of a tunnel, and then you're immediately 35-40 meters above the river. You just boom, and so you get to see the cityscape, and I point out across it, from the window, the light rail and or the monorail, and I say, That's like 25 of my home.